Miss Goodwin, and I'm here to talk to you about the structure of the day in EYFS. Our day starts at 20 to 9. Myself and Mrs Harding meet and greet the children outside on the gate. The children then come into reception, into their classrooms. They hang up their coats, they put their lunch bags away, etc. And then they come into the classroom. I would ask them to locate their name tag. They would then come in, they would all have a whiteboard and pen, and then they would learn how to recognise and write their name. Other children will be given tasks such as pencil control tasks, learning how to hold a pencil. That possibly could be using tweezers, using Play-Doh, using manipulative things to get their fingers and their pincer grasp developed. I come in, I then greet the children, have a look at their names, have a look at how they've progressed, and then I sit there and we have morning news. Now, this is a really important part of the day because this is a key part of where the children learn to sit and listen attentively to the person next to them. Obviously, they can't all speak at once, so this is where we teach them how to socialise, interact and communicate with each other. Once we've had morning news, we will then start our phonics session. It will be a short, sharp phonics session where we will introduce a sound. We aim to introduce at least 4 to 5 sounds a week. So we would start with the letter M, and I would introduce the sound The children would be encouraged to recognise it, they will be encouraged to write it, and they will also be encouraged to go on a sound hunt. What in the classroom can you find that begins with the letter And then I will introduce the activities that I've set up inside and outside of the classroom. For example, over in our art area, I have left a painting challenge out for the children. It's observational painting, where the children will look at the object in front of them. In particular, this time, it's flowers. So I would leave out some paints for them and ask them, I would say to them, what 2 colours can you make? How can you make your flower a darker shade of pink? How can you make it a lighter shade of pink? What colour would you need to add? Sometimes I don't necessarily put any activity out on the table. I will just leave the resources out for them and the children are free to explore themselves. All the activities that we put out Mrs Harding and I put out are planned for a purpose. For example, in the outdoor classroom, if I take the water tray, I may have set a specific activity out there where the children would use various different sized containers and pots to fill up a bucket to explore capacity, measurement and weight. There is a water tray adjacent to the one that I have set up which allows the children to explore free play in the water. So for example, there are tubes, funnels, water tunnels, water wheels that the children are free to explore. That encourages the children to develop their own problem solving and critical thinking skills. For example, a child may, I quite often hear, Miss Goodwin, quick, come and look at this. If I pour the water down this tube, it goes really, really fast. But if I try and pour it down this tube, it doesn't go so fast, it's very slow. Why is that? So it engages open conversation, social skills, thinking and trying to solve problems. Once I've explained all of the activities that are available for the children to explore inside and out, the children then have the opportunity to choose where they would like to go. They are welcome to use my classroom, they are welcome to use the classroom next door, and they are welcome to explore the outside area. While the children are out free-flowing, that's then my opportunity and Mrs Harding's opportunity to possibly do some small individual teaching or small group work. That could be on a handwriting focus, it could possibly have a phonics focus, it could possibly have a mathematics focus. But whilst the children are free-flowing, it's very important that we understand that they're not just playing. Every activity that has been put out for the children has a purpose behind it, a purpose that links to the development matters. There are additional staff in EYFS, apart from the teachers, that are there to support the children in their independent, individual play. Questioning is key. Learning when to intervene, learning when to let the children explore, learning how to question in a way that will help the child develop further. For example, you may see a child exploring in the mud. They may find a worm. This opens up a whole new conversation. You might then talk about, oh, what does the worm eat? How long do you think that worm is? Whilst the children are free-flowing, we would have previously in the morning set up 2 snack tables. One inside the classroom and one outside the classroom. The children are then free to, when they feel hungry, help themselves to a piece of fruit, a healthy snack. The children are encouraged to wash their hands, sit down at the table and socialise with one another. Shortly before lunch, we will then ask the children to help tidy away the environment. It's important that the children learn to respect the resources that we have set out. The children are actively encouraged in small groups to find a certain area, possibly we might allocate certain areas, and in small groups they will be asked to go and help tidy that section away. Once we've tidied up, we then come in and the children are asked to wash their hands. We then come back into the carpet, we sit on the carpet, and that's my story time. It's my favourite part of the day. I may have already planned a story, however, if something has happened in the morning, such as a child finding a worm or a child finding a feather, or it might be particularly windy that day, I can then call upon my book bank and decide upon a story. For example, if they did find a worm, I might then choose to read Superworm. Once the children have returned from lunch, again we would call the register. After the register, we would then go into our first session, which would be whole class maths. So the children will be asked to sit in a circle, and that's where I would then carry out my pre-planned maths activity. Now this may be counting songs, it may be number recognition, it may be matching numeral to quantity, it may be can you find the missing number, it may even be can you help Miss Goodwin put all the numbers in the right order because Mr Muddles has muddled them up yet again. This session will only last approximately 5 to 10 minutes before the children are then able to go out and carry out the free flow activities inside and outside the classroom. Throughout the day, while the children are free flowing, this is then my opportunity to listen to the children read. I will ask each child to come over, we will read a book together, we will share a story, and we will explore vocabulary. Sometimes parents worry that during free flow, their child would choose to spend the entire day outside riding a bike. Please don't worry, as teachers, we know the children individually. We know how to engage and enhance the children to explore activities they would not necessarily choose to do. I hope this has been informative, and I hope you have a better understanding of how we structure the day in EYFS and how we will be teaching your child.